come on top, who is the one who's going to naturally go through to the Grand Major. But before I go through that, Prota, I think we should talk about this format for the top 8.
At the end, when everyone's collected as many points as they can, you move forward onto the Grand Major should you have collected the most amount of points. And Hyper, there's a little bit of money up for grabs today too, depending.
So it is important that we get as high as you can, because later on, as you saw from the bottom, the #1 seed after the 4 cycles.
But nonetheless, Hyper, we will find out what happens today. That's cycle 3. Today's cycle 2, our arena pool for today is the standard, no Kyoto. But
to play it, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit more Fang Wei step forward, but we must look ahead and look at what we have. A lineup to be desired. Thankfully, brings cover fire from left, right, and center. So 77RS, I absolutely love. The one I really want to highlight a bit more is Mir.
For the day, and we're just getting ready right now. The players are here, and finally, we are going to dive on to our first game of the afternoon. It is time to kick off APAC Cycle 2 for the TGM Online Series. Ladies and gentlemen, we're running into it. Let's kick it off with a bang.
Well, we're off to the races. The fine gentlemen go. Truly where the battle commences. I'm looking forward to this, I'm not going to lie. It's been a hot minute. AWF versus Mir will be the first battle we get to see, and then on the other side of the map, KZ versus 777RS. Oh, that's a great way to kick it off. The two top first seed and third seed, and then the 2 challengers going against each other. You can't write that.
A small pivot as well that we've noticed just in terms of the composition, Hyper. Last time in the first cycle, we saw a lot of HLL spread across the board, a couple of teams opting to run it. Today, though, AWF running the double heavy medium. Mir struggling a little bit in this first altercation against AWF here, and KZ777RS is going to be an interesting one that is going to take a little bit of time to kick off. Good win shear, ultimately a kill to follow. Make it, no, not quite 2. Mogwasum walks away with his life. Eshe there to support as well, and KZ actually fall. The Kingslayers, 77RS, are hungry for this first vault.
Well, I did mention earlier there's going to be a target on their back, so prepare for some more disappointment. I feel King Zero are going to be wanting a bit more revenge from it. We look back onto Mir and AWF. Of course, AWF got control of the vault, able to start that cash out. They haven't moved it around, which I'm a little bit surprised, because you're leaving this cash out in the corner, and if Mir gets onto this point, able to force AWF off this roof, wow, they could go for a cheeky steal quite early on. Sirius, on the other side, getting taken out early against KZ.
We may see a pivot late game here. Gateway does come out for Mir. They want to try and make a vertical take. If they can manage to go for it, they're going to look for a heal, possibly then a dive across. But with that constant stress from the Revolver as well as that BFR Titan, they just keep taking huge damage. They're looking to rotate to Mega here, maybe to try and get away up. But Mir are managing it so well. They're set up on this roof. They're in a great position. Domes, the healing, barricades, everything available. But here we go. They're starting to try and kick off. Mir want to get involved, but they've been grabbed one straight up onto the roof. July is down. Yangdun has been hurt as well. Not taken out completely. Umyo now fighting for his life. That Shaq 50 absolutely ringing from Ander. But ultimately, they trade one back. War Doctor goes down, but things slow again, Hyper. As everyone calms down and they go for the soft reset, they attempt to deny Yangdun, doing his best to lock something in for his team, but he's going to be chased, charge and slam, and he's out of the race.
A brilliant attempt from Mir, as they were so desperately trying to get some side angles to create a form of distraction, pushing onto this cash out. Two of them going for Mega. The other one from the far side then created that visual aggro that did a lot of damage. Meanwhile, KZ,
wow,
denied off the steal. They weren't able to get it. So this is brilliant for 777RS, as they've been struggling in the kill feed. Have they been able to force enough of a denial? The steals start to go through. They've been forced off again.
Oh my god. That's perfect.
I think there might have been enough time for KZ to quickly get the steal, but I think he mistimed it.
It was either he mistimed it or the goo just managed to clip into the area where it denies the interact prompt. So I'm not too sure if that was he got off it because he realized he didn't have enough time, or if it was a goo thing. It could have been both, arguably, considering on how close both were. But that's huge. That is a big start for 777 RS. KZ, though, you've got to admit it, they have been farming some cash off those kills when you compare that to Mia, who was struggling a little bit, but ultimately they lost in the end to AWF, and they aren't looking as comfortable. But second goes in straight away, really quick here for AWF. They're going to try and get it outside. Great winch, mind you, just not quite far enough, but it's okay. You do have two heavies. You could COS it down if you choose to. But KZ kicking things off on the other side of the map with an early kill on the Yang.
A switch of people to fight, and immediately July is going to try and push in aggressively with two people around you. Not the best odds when you go a 2v1. But Mir severely spread out. And they were trying to lick their wounds from that first engagement, and KZ is going to punish them, knowing now that they have the man advantage, they have the cash out, they can apply the pressure and force Mir away, and they've gone hunting again and found another. We quickly flip them over. AWF loses out. 777 RS in an open field to get the steal to come through. They're going to take the lead of this entire game, and they could be looking down the barrel of controlling who goes through into the next cash out.
I mean, realistically, we've got one set of ults after this, Hyper. You can also then have the possibility of teams trying to lock in and run those vaults away based on who they want to take through. We could actively see 777 RS attempt to try and bring another team with them into that top qualifying, because if they can lock in their win here, arguably, I'd say, in that second set of teams, they're going to have a pretty straightforward 3v3. A steal for Mir now here to attempt to regain that vault control. Indeed, they will. They're going to yoink that away from AWF. And this is an interesting turn of events. We did see that flip. I called that at the start. We were going to see the teams flip, and I'm not too sure the comms on that as to why, but 777 RS didn't necessarily struggle against KZ, sorry. But ultimately, the choice has been made. Now things are kicking off for AWF.
Three teams looking to go towards D, and the steal starts to go through. This time it's KZ going for it, but it's been dropped down, and you know full well Mir is not going to allow anybody to step foot onto that point. They've got eyes, 6 other eyes looking at them, trying to put pressure on. Is there a chance for a last second steal? No. The Chaos able to cover up a lot of the danger. But talking of danger management, 777 RS in this hot seat. All they need to do now is ensure a double going into the next cash out, and they are safe, guaranteed.
Just like that, King Zero find themselves in 4th place, hailing all the way down from the top. It's not what you want to see. 4,000 behind AWF, who we've watched have been actually struggling. But talk about that, 77 RS, they lose one to Yuki very quickly as the vault now runs off, and Eshe just escaping with his life in that instance, looking to get towards B, go for a plug, possibly, but no, the water just in
6 is going to be as well.
Available. Yeah, everyone's going to be.
Don't mean to interrupt, but they were both going towards B at the same time, and immediately, I told you earlier, a double is critical to get it right. KZ steals 777 RS's box and is able to plug. That's fine, because 777 isn't going to go for the fight. We're going to respawn in. They're going to grab 6, pull it away from A, and bring it back to B, as again, the steal starts to go through. AWF so desperately do not want King Zero to advance through to this next round, as they will be the first ones to contest and deny the steal.
Lots is happening right now. Charge and Slam comes out in an attempt to try and remove some of the presence of KZ, but it hasn't done that. Huli Rice really, really low, actually taken down, but Yuki is there to trade it again with a defib as well. KZ 3 strong. It's now just 77 RS on the board, as Mia and AWF are both in the waiting screen. KZ are not the team that 777 wanted to have control of this box, but if they go for a double here without anyone present to steal, they don't want to send them through on a higher cash amount, because should it come down to it at the end, that will be taken into consideration depending on how things go. But they have brought it over. The ability for a double is here now, as 6 has been dragged all the way over. Huli Rice been punished forced to go away for that heal. Yuki taken out quickly, though, by Mogwasom. And Sirius finding one as well. KZ have been absolutely smashed. And it's now just one as a steal comes for 777 RS.
That's huge. This will force King Zero down to second, allow the kill race to come through. They already know King Zero is low on health. They know they're in danger. So that is going to be an interesting tactical play. But King Zero still stands strong with 2. Eshe left alive on 77 RS and has to dip away. So the control that they had, the way they could manipulate this entire game, not going to happen. 14 seconds left. Mir, next one's to try and go for the steal. Will get forced off as Hilly Rice is there, present, on the point. AWF want to get involved now. It's their turn to go for the steal, but again the denies just keep coming through. Eshe's going for clear up. Eshe's going for clear up. And they choose King Zero to go through. I don't know if that's the choice you want. I feel their hand.
That interaction, and I mean the scoreboard does ultimately reflect that. Yes, they get first. Ultimately 876, not horrible. 777